Like to call this meeting to order. Moved by Councillor Kotick, second by Councillor Ruff, resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that council acknowledges that we are meeting in this Robinson Superior Treaty area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, the community of Bigbegon Nishnawbek and Nemezagamic Nishnawbek First Nations. We wish to recognize a long history of First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? Carried. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? No. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Kotick, resolved that the agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Delegation presentations? No. Adoption of the minutes. Moved by Councillor Kotick, seconded by Councillor Ruff, resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held May 13th, 2026 are adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Petitions, correspondence, reports and committees. You guys said.
That's one.
Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Hudson. Resolved that the minutes of the meeting of the Manitowoc Public Library Board held April 13th, 2026 be accepted as received. All in favor? Carried. Okay, verbal update. Okay. Okay, for my update today, I have one question that I very frequently get asked from new residents of Manitowoc. And that is, why is the roundabout backwards? Well, I always chuckle and begin with my long-winded explanation. Okay, first of all, it is a traffic circle, not a roundabout. And the first traffic circle was built in the UK in 1905. The first one in Canada was in 1930 on the Queen Elizabeth's Way, where the 420 is now. But more famously, Edmonton, Alberta built its first traffic circle in the 50s. And as far as traffic circles here in Manitowoc, according to my research, it was also built in the 50s, when Manitowoc was designed as a model town. Now, the first roundabout was built in the late 1990s, around 40 years after our traffic circle. How does that make us backwards? So both traffic circles and roundabouts are safer than a traffic light intersection, because when accidents happen, they are usually side swipes and not a head-on or a T-bone. And also, they are not affected by hydro outages. And it also allows for making a legal U-turn. I mean, that's used here in Manitowoc every time the fuel truck comes in for the Esso. They go around the roundabout, or the traffic circle, and back to the gas station. Okay, another plus for our traffic circle is the fact that going uphill on Ohsweken, if we had a roundabout, traffic would have to stop on the hill, and in the winter, they may not get going again, like two-wheel drive vehicles, school buses, large trucks, etc. Okay, another advantage is when people see it for the first time and yield as they approach it, it's actually safer because everybody's yielding. Okay, I like our traffic circle, and I'm sure a lot of long-term residents will agree. And I also want to remind everyone to be patient of all the construction happening on Manitou Road and at the rec center. Another item that came up, and I'm sure anybody that goes up and down the 614 sees all the major potholes. So earlier this week, I actually took some pictures. I sent them to my contact at the MTO, who's pretty high up the ladder. So now he was supposed to contact the contractors and have it repaired. Now, is it done yet? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I mean, you know, that's something. And also on that same note, on the Highway 614, this is also the same person that verbally told me that the 614 will be totally repaved by our 75th anniversary for Manitowoc, which is in 2029. So that's something he told me in the delegation last year. So I don't know if I actually mentioned that in time or not, but I mean, it's not on paper, but it is a verbal commitment. So anyway, that's what I have for tonight. Okay, and nothing. Okay, over to business. Moved by Councillor Ruff, second by Councillor Coddick, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report, admin 2026-07, submitted by Jolene Keogh, CAO clerk, regarding restricted acts of council, the lame duck periods during the 2026 municipal election.
Thank you through the chair. This bylaw is brought forward for council's consideration. It is essentially a housekeeping bylaw that is passed every election. There are restricted timeframes within an election period for council, what they call lame duck periods, and those restricted acts are usually appointed to the chief administrative officer, just so then business can still be conducted during those times should there be a restriction. If council, the composition at this time is 5, if during those restricted periods, if there's 4 or less than 4, then we would be in a lame duck. And so that's why council delegates this authority to the CAO. And with that delegation, the provisions that are in there, it's only budgeted business. So there wouldn't be any action taken or decisions made that are outside of council's purview already that has been approved.
Okay, any questions? And if I understand properly, it also, there will be no decisions made that will affect the following council.
Correct, and that's why there are restricted acts should there be less than.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, and further that council approves the bylaw to authorize the delegation of authority to the chief administrative officer for certain acts during a lame duck period. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Coddick, second by Councillor Hudson, resolved that council is in receipt of administration report CS 2026-03, submitted by Trish Boileau, Director of Community Services, regarding the Oasis Pool. Welcome, Trish.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council. So I trust you guys have had a chance to read the report with the recommendation to formally discontinue the effort to reopen Oasis Pool. In the report, it's detailed about how much of a capital infusion would be needed to get up and going again, but it also touches on, you know, how we would be able to or be restricted to or struggle with operating the pool if we were ever to get into a position where we could get the pool back up and running again. So it's not a decision obviously to be taken lightly by any of us, by council, by staff. I'm very aware of the value the pool had for the community over the years that it was open. It well exceeded its you know, lifespan of an outdoor pool. I don't exactly know what the lifespan for an outdoor pool is, but you know, certainly for an indoor pool, it's 25 years. This one is long past that, and in a state of considerable disrepair. And you know, at this point, we have to make a decision on what we're going to do with that space and let the community know what the plan is going forward. You guys have any thoughts or questions on that?
Through the chair. Yes, I do.
Really? Okay.
Uh, what sort of things are you looking at potentially repurposing it? Like, I'm assuming like a recreational outdoor space, like an outdoor pickleball court or other things along that line that are very popular right now? Or do you have anything in line right now in your train of thought?
I guess, like, I mean, all kinds of ideas always come up. I guess ultimately, you know, it's. The decisions lays with council on what direction. You see fit to take with that space. So no matter what we do with that space, there's gonna be a cost associated with that, right? So. Whether it's, you know, just simply refilling the pool and covering the space and bringing it back to a natural state, or. You know, looking at something like a multi-purpose court or a pickleball exclusive court or whatever that may be. You know, the options are open for consideration by everybody at the table, so. What are your thoughts on pickleball court?
I've never played pickleball a day in my life, but I know it's very hugely popular.
Huge, yes.
And that was just the first thing that came to my mind. Like, obviously, you want something that's multi-use.
Yeah.
It could be a court of many different things.
Yeah.
It could, I don't imagine you want to get into something like splash pad, because that gets back into the water and the mechanics of it all, that gets complicated as well.
Yeah, we always have to think about future maintenance for stuff.
Yes.
Too, right? So that's something to consider when we think about how we're gonna use that space, how it's gonna be maintained and. All of that.
Through the chair also, I'm not sure if I missed it. Is there a cost, do we know a cost on, like, to decommission it, whether it's to fill it in or however it has to be done? Do you have a cost on that, or?
Like, we had some off the cuff sort of discussions, I believe one was with TBT Engineering in and around 2024. You know, like, basically filling it and covering it, you know. A couple of $100,000 was kind of a ballpark thrown out back then,
Okay,
and everything just seems to probably cost, so.
yes,
Don't know where that is right now, but yeah, we'll have to spend some money for sure.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, other questions?
No, through you, Mr. Chair, I don't have any questions. I mean, I kind of figured this is the direction it was going in. As we talked about, costs go up over time. We saw the estimates for 2023, 2022. It's expensive then, it's gonna be more expensive now. And then, no, this has basically been my position for the last couple of years on this. As far as what to do with it, I mean, I agree with Kathy, turning it into a court of some kind. I thought tennis court right away.
Tennis.
That would make some people happy, since we used to have the tennis court where the skate park was, right?
Yeah.
But multi-purpose would be better ultimately, or the splash pad idea, even though there's the maintenance costs, I know the challenges with that, but. You'd still want something for kids to do during the hot summer time, right? It's kind of why I think that would be good. Other than that, yeah. Pretty good.
Through the chair, it is sad to see the pool go. But having exhausted all grant options, and we know how everybody feels about a tax raise. So I don't see a way to make it feasible, and as you said, staffing it is next to impossible, as we've learned. So I don't see any other options other than decommission. Hopefully decommissioning it doesn't cost us an arm and a leg, but it is what it is at this point. We can't just let it sit there and become a hazard. So it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is certainly, you know, an unfortunate place to be in, but we are here. Yeah, we have to make a decision.
Now, one thing I did see in the report is they said it was built in 1964, which is wrong. It was actually built in 1972.
Were you there for
I
that?
was,
Wow.
yes,
Okay.
because I moved to town in 70 and I remember it was built. Well, I remember when it was being built.
Wow, so it's.
So it was 1972. So it is still 54 years old.
Well, unbelievable that it was able to be maintained for as long.
Yes, and you know what? It did as well over the years. But I mean, something that old, I can see how the infrastructure is gonna continuously fail. Now, as far as what to do with the area, I think that's something that we could put out to the community.
Yeah.
And see what they want. And then we can start moving forward with that goal. Because if we go for grants and funding for like an existing pool like this here. You've seen over the last few years, we've tried and failed because the government, any form of government does not like to give money for something that's old. It's hard, to get any repairs on old infrastructure. So if we get an idea of what the community wants, then I think it'd be a lot easier to get funding on something that is new, per
Yeah.
se. So,
You're absolutely correct.
yeah, I think that would be the route to go. If everybody feels comfortable with that, so you can, however, the staff wants to do it to get it out to the community. I don't know, an open house or whatever,
Suggestion
Yeah.
box, survey.
that's,
Several options.
yeah, cause multi-court, splash pad, whatever.
Yeah,
Because if that's what the community wants, well then yes, let's try to make it happen. As far as another pool is concerned, I think that one would be like further stretch, but hey, it could be an option also. But it would definitely, it would have to be a new pool,
Yeah.
hopefully indoors and,
Sorry.
yeah, but no, but that's.
dream big, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we're able to get the funding, that's a different story.
Yeah.
For a new pool, I don't even know how much that would be. No way.
Yes.
But anyway, that's how I feel about that, so are we okay with the?
Decommissioning.
Commissioning? Everything's good, okay?
Logically, yes,
Yeah,
by heart.
oh, I know. Okay, and further. I took all my swimming lessons there.
Yeah.
Okay, and further, that council formally discontinues effort to reopen the outdoor pool and direct administration to declare the outdoor pool permanently closed due to unsustainable capital and operational cost, develop options for decommissioning or repurposing the pool area, including cost estimates and potential grant opportunities for alternate recreational amenities, communicate the decision to the public, outlining the financial, staffing, and operational factors that make reopening unfeasible. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, Trish. Okay. Moved by Councillor Ruff, seconded by Councillor Hudson, resolved that the council of the Corporation of the Township of Manasquash hereby appoint the following member of council to serve on the Manasquash Recreational Trails Advisory Committee, concurrent with their present term of office. You elaborate, please?
Yes, of course, through the chair. So currently, Councillor Arola has been serving as the Northern Trails Club capacity on this committee. And there was nobody on that committee, which is structured within the terms of reference to be on the committee, that has come forward to have the replacement for the community member. We do now have one that has expressed interest, so now we're looking at filling the council capacity on that committee. And Councillor Arola has expressed interest in staying on the committee, but under council.
Okay. Everybody's okay with that? Okay, perfect. So we will put David Roll. All in favor? Carried. Bylaws. Moved by Councillor Hudson, seconded by Councillor Kotick, being a bylaw to authorize the declaration of authority to the Chief Administrative Officer for certain acts during a lame duck period be read a first and second time. Furthermore, be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2026-17. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Motion to notice, no closed session. Business or no, commission bylaws. Moved by Councillor Kotick, second by Councillor Ruff, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the Township of Manasquash at its regular meeting held on Wednesday, May 27, 2026. Be ready first and second time. Furthermore, be ready third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2026-18. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Rough, second by Councillor Hudson, resolved that the regular meeting adjourn at the hour of 7:20. All in favor? Carried.